Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an Age of Empires forecasted game, and we've got a fantastic set for you today for the August monthlies. This is a big set. HuT versus Kyo, and one of these players potentially might go all the way to the main event and qualify for that main event. Redbull Wololo Legacy in Castle Heidelberg, Germany. And these two players today are fighting their way to get that golden ticket, with HuT being in the south, in blue as the French. His opponent today in this best of 5 will be Kyo playing in red as the English in the north of dry Arabia. The age-old matchup, the English versus the French. And we've come to love this Civ matchup because it's an interesting one, that is for sure. The French, certainly one of the most strongest Civs in Age of Empires 4 in terms of the feudal age aggression they can get, the School of Cavalry, transitioning into knights, and having plenty of options beyond that, whether they go for a second town centre to go back behind that, having access to the Arbalète, a very strong crossbow unit which has a high base damage and can even take good cost-effective fights against spearmen, which is often the counter that the English will tend to go for. The English, on the other hand, really thrive on the super late game, especially with the farming bonuses that they get and enclosures where they can basically farm gold. But that is for a discussion later on in the game if it gets that far, because enclosures is an Imperial Age upgrade, and the Imperial Age is very far away from us what we're watching right now, because we are in the Dark Age, and the Feudal Age is where the French might start to pile on the pressure. The English do have some good defensive bonuses. They have the Network of Castles bonus with the units attacking. I believe it's 25% faster if I'm not mistaken. And of course their town centre fires more arrows as well. The English will need to survive almost at the early stages of the game, trying to minimise the damage they get from the knights that often harass economies. And we'll see how up to that Kyo is today. Certainly one of the most competitive first round sets of the August monthlies between HuT and Kyo. So I'm fascinated to see how this one unfolds in this best of 5. This is interesting. HuT going for some villages on berries. Often we can see the French go for an early wheelbarrow, especially, current patches as well. Getting the wheelbarrow will be coming out from that mill, and that mill is being placed right now, but pretty surprised to see that mill accompanied with 2 villagers there. It's not commonly done, I don't think. I think it's because, I believe it's because the village is going to be running out of food there. This is rather smart from HuT. This often happens to a lot of players. It happens to me. Sometimes you can forget to bring your sheep back, or you haven't brought them back in time, and the last thing you want to do is have villagers idle. And he's quite smartly just calculated this quite nicely. He's going to take 3 villagers to build the School of Cavalry anyway. So he decided to take those villagers temporarily to berries just to make sure those villagers don't run out of food. And now he's bringing the scout home with the sheep. And oh, what timing! HuT timed that to perfection, and you can see the skill and quality of these players, how he managed to do that. Pretty impressive. 3 villagers on wood now. The wood transition is starting. You see 4 villagers in gold. Very standard opening here. And wheelbarrow not yet clicked here. It's going for the early School of Cavalry as expected. I suspect we'll see wheelbarrow as soon as he can afford it. On the other hand, the English have got wheelbarrow clicked as expected with that early wheelbarrow. And it's going to get the School of Cavalry. Going up with 2 villagers there. Now what we can sometimes see is a fast castle for the English against the French. Opt into a barracks, a couple of spearmen, and then transition to a fast castle behind that. It will come down to the scouting because, as we said, feudal age is incredibly strong for the French, especially if they go for a very aggressive feudal age and not opt for a second town centre. But the hands of the players will be revealed very soon. The strategies that they opt for will start to show themselves as they move villages around to each different resource point. And we can see now Kyo moving villages off of that gold. It looks like he wants to have that fast age up, and doesn't look like he's going to go for a fast castle anytime soon. He's going to commit to the feudal age as expected. He's going to be anticipating HuT being aggressive. Let's take a look at the maps. Actually, that's something that's very important to consider. I mean, for the French, it doesn't necessarily matter too much in the early game because they're usually going to be the ones that are aggressive, and so they can really operate from the pocket economies. They don't usually have a problem staying out on the forward golds, the forward berries, forward stone. Everything is pretty badly forward, though, to be fair. That might become a problem later on the game, especially if the aggression comes in. Bit of a miss micro there for HuT there. Didn't have the mining camp built. The village had to walk an extra long distance. Does look like it's going to be a couple of villages on stone. 4, 5 villagers. Looks like Kyo's going to go for a second town centre. Sometimes you can send some villagers for stone if you're looking to get some arrow slits and placements, but not when you send 5. That's a clear indication, we said it before, that the players will start to show their hands in terms of the strategies that they're opting for. It's going to be a second town centre. Now, it's really funny he's doing this because I have been thinking about this matchup recently in my own gameplay, playing the English a lot myself. I have been thinking about getting a second town centre. If you can get it nice and early, That can be incredibly strong for the English. It does delay your feudal age time quite significantly, but you can expect the French to be in feudal age for quite some time anyway, especially if they're aggressive. And it's going to be a second town centre out of HuT anyway as well, so both players opting for that second town centre. Now, something is to be noted. If you're not aware of Age of Empires 4 too much, you may not know that the town centre for the French do produce villagers slightly faster, so we will see a villager lead at the moment for HuT, I'm sure. 22 versus the 21. I mean, it's not really huge amounts of differences there, but in the pro level scene here that we're watching today, it can make a difference as the game wears on. The second town centre will be coming up for Kyo soon, but it feels like HuT will get there first. Question is, do we see the knight on the field? We do see that royal knight coming out of the French. We're heading forward now, but what damage could he possibly do? There's no villagers on gold to be taken. Villagers on the wood line, nice and secure. Needs to be keeping an eye on this position here. Possibly the stone, but the issue is that Kyo will be collecting enough stone very soon. The knight is going to run out of his window of opportunity to take care of those villagers on the stone. Needs one more drop-off, really. 1.5 more drop-offs. And Kyo will be good for the stone. Speaking of stone, HuT has got enough stones for the second town centre. He's going to go forward on the deer. We often see this now. Town centres, secondary town centres being placed on the deer. There's a lot of food to be had. Knight just slaying the wolf, and that wolf slowed him down a bit. Kyo got some favours there from the guy or the wolves. Villagers now being pulled towards the wood line, I suspect, to get the second town centres. Going for the back wood line area and the berries. Not a bad spot. He needs to protect that wood line. It's going to be a little bit exposed on this front line here, but I don't think the knights are going to want to dive in there too much because of the town centre fire from the capital town centre for Kyo. So the second town centre is really strong for the English, not only because of the economy, but because of the defensive capabilities that it offers. The English town centres have a wider range of attack radius and also dish out more damage. So defending with the English town centres is incredibly strong. Ram rushes aren't... This is another thing with the patch recently that we have for the ram rushes for Age of Empires 4. They have been buffed in some ways. Rams are a bit cheaper, and the tech siege engineering, I believe, is a bit cheaper or is a bit faster to research. It's faster to research. But one thing that has changed is from the town centre is the automatic firing of units. And so what used to happen in the early days of Age of Empires 4, when you had a ram, you could shove it in front of the town centre, and the town centre fire arrows. The arrows will constantly fire at the ram, and there's no way to change it even. Sometimes you could manually change it with some emplacements, some outposts, or some town centres, not all of them. But now the town centres auto fire, and so you can't really get too close. It does make for a ram rush to struggle because villagers can come out and torch them. And especially with the town centres being extra strong for the English, it does make the feudal age aggression a little less viable. Doesn't look like we can get much aggression here anyway, to be honest, because HuT looks to have stopped producing those knights. Is transitioning into some archers now himself. I do see some longbows on the field. 9 of them. No barracks out of Kyo, so hasn't really been put under too much pressure at this stage. Let's take a look at the villager count at the moment. Should be slightly ahead for the French, possibly. Yep, 35, 36 to 33. Not huge amounts of differences here. Wheelbarrow is in for both players. 6 villagers on gold. Relatively quiet start to this game so far. Longbows are moving out. Or they're just rejigging, maybe reorientating themselves. Now what I have seen some players do, which is rather interesting, they can keep one longbow on either side of the gold vein, and they activate the palings. So that if a knight does try and charge in the early stages of the game, obviously not now, he's not really too worried about the knights now, but he keeps a longbow there and a longbow there with palings. If the knights do try and charge in, they get stunned, and that could become a problem for them. Looks like Kyo's looking to secure this economy on the left side with some walls. And this is going to be quite nice for Kyo, keeping his economy nice and safe. I have to say, he doesn't have all that much resources at the back of his base though. Does have some berries and some gold. That'll tide him over for quite some time. Unfortunately, it looks like his deer patches are far forward. Can obviously move out and migrate to those pocket economies later on in the game, but this stage of the game, he'll want to keep nice and safe. Maybe look to get that castle age timing. I talked about it being quiet, but look at this. The French are starting to armor up. They are starting to get their army together in the feudal age. Looking to put some feudal age aggression. Kyo has something else on his mind. He's looking for a fast, well, I say fast castle. He's looking for a castle age timing here. He will scout that out. Longbows do pick a couple of archers off. Be interested to see how Kyo reacts to this. Will he drop a barracks for some spears? He runs the risk of being a bit too greedy here. The longbow's going to fire on the knights. These knights get tickled. Scout absorbs the charge attack, but there are 3 knights there. The villagers have to pull off the gold. Scout goes down. The lack of vision now going to hurt Kyo. Will the villagers get pulled to the back gold now? I think that's the play. Yeah, it's going to move to the back gold. This is actually a very nice play there for Kyo. He doesn't want to keep moving those villagers back and forth. He doesn't want to have any idle time. And so in order to counteract that, he moves to the back gold. And what could be quite nice, it would be a bit of a wood investment, but actually walling off fully, that will buy himself even more time. Especially if he's concerned about field push. Blacksmith going down. That will give the French Bloomery for free. As soon as that goes up, you see on the bottom right, there we are. Bloomery has been researched, comes in for free for the French as soon as the blacksmith is built. He's also going to look to get some iron undermesh upgrades as well. And that means Kyo will struggle if he doesn't build up a large army. Going to go for the King's Palace, a 3 town center play here for Kyo. Economy going to be booming here, but I have to say that'll help him catch up in the village count because he will be behind. 52 for HuT, 50 for Kyo. Not all that far behind. That 3 town center going to be doing wonders for Kyo, that's for sure. But he needs to hold on. He needs to be defensive. Now, we've talked about this on the channel. I'm going to say it again. I need a command for this or something. But when you age up, that is often when you're most vulnerable. And I get the feeling that HuT senses something. He knows that his opponent's probably going to be heading to the castle age because his opponent's not putting any sort of pressure. That is the case. Kyo is going up to the castle age. But HuT will pounce on this opportunity perhaps to try and be aggressive. Trouble is, how much value can he get? He doesn't have access to siege at this point, except from rams. He doesn't really have much of a way in. Could try and dive, run in with knights. But Kyo is pretty nicely set up here. And there is that castle age now for Kyo. Getting that King's Palace, the village is really going to start to count. The count is really going to start to rise. Maybe looking to get a monastery out. Going to go up for double stable. Be able to get some knights himself here. And it is pretty satisfying when you go against the French with knights of your own. And I think at this point, Kyo needs to hold on. We talked about it. This is when you're most vulnerable. The army dives in for HuT. They're going to get some damage. Kyo might be under all sorts of pressure here. The longbows need to stay alive. Villagers on the woodline going to be exposed. Villagers in the woodline need to garrison inside the town centre, but you can only garrison 10 villages now, and so this is going to be a massacre. Villagers will be going down, but at what cost for HuT? He will lose the military as well. He's going to dive underneath 2 town centres effectively here. The knights do have iron undermesh now. Be a little bit extra tanky. The veteran longbowman just running around, just kiting, just finding as much time he can. Take out the archers, getting on the south side. Knights pushing in again. And the economy completely idled here for Kyo. HuT won't mind losing his army here because he's kept his opponent so idled. The Castle Age Knights are starting to fight now, but they're being surrounded by the French Royal Knights. The French Royal Knights doing some good work here. And the unit numbers not really where Kyo wants them to be. Hasn't got the gold income to produce, I think. No, it does have the gold, doesn't it? The food. That's what it's struggling in. The army does go down for HuT. That is quite expensive trade though. HuT trying to get some value out of that feudal age army, but he loses everything. Now Kyo can rebalance. Let's take a look at the village count. 56 for Kyo after that. 65 for HuT. So Kyo lost a lot of villagers. Does have 3 town centres. We'll be able to catch up, but only slowly. Because HuT is committed to the feudal age. Look at the food count. Look at the gold count. He can spam those units now. The knights are coming out. And they're coming out thick and fast. Will HuT be saving up for the castle age though? It might be the case. And he might be going up for the Royal Institute. We'll need to see what he decides to do, whether he goes for the Guild Hall. If he goes for the Guild Hall, then he might be looking for a late game, but obviously the English shine quite significantly in the late game, so it probably will be the Royal Institute, and that is the case. It is the Royal Institute. This is a fantastic landmark for the French. It houses all technologies that are unique to the French, and it causes researchers to be 30% cheaper, and it ignores age requirements, so we will see French Imperial Age upgrades coming in the Castle Age for HuT. Blacksmith is going to be put down for Kyo. He needs his researchers. Let's have a monastery. Getting a monk out now. We'll be able to pick up some relics. We shall see. Setting a couple of veteran longbowmen, probably mostly for scouting information. 7 on their own is going to be a death wish, really. Maybe looking to get some villager damage. We shall see. Bit of an extension here for HuT on his pocket economy. He's walling up though nicely. Respecting his opponent. There is the castle age for HuT. What we'll see being queued up, we see the veterancy for the knights as expected. Likely to see some blacksmith upgrades as well. Probably wedge rivets. Oh, HuT doesn't have iron undermesh. Hang on a minute. I think HuT can iron undermesh. That must be the case. Might also see Gambesons for the Arbitraire, but he doesn't have any Arbitraire, so might opt to switch to that. We'll see. We shall see. He does have quite a few archers, so he might be going down the archer line, really. Has already invested in some. Gonna get a monastery. Looking to get some relics here, the French. Yeah, he's gonna veterancy his archers. Gambesons won't be on the cards here for the French. A couple of knights cycling on the left side, looking to secure those relics. One relic has been brought home for Kyo already, so we'll get that static or passive gold income. 79, 80 villages for HuT, 73 for Kyo, so that villager differential is starting to narrow again. A couple of knights do spot the pocket eco there. Shouldn't be a problem for HuT. We'll be able to pull those villagers if they break through, but that'll take some time anyway. Won't happen anytime soon. And okay, so the army compositions for both players essentially knights and archers, obviously with the English to get the longbows. Both going like for like here. Of course, the knights for the French will be tankier. Cantled saddles coming in. The veterancy for the knights are in. And they'll look to charge this down. The knights have to head back home. And HuT just going to perform some repairs on that that gate there. Army numbers starting to build up. Building an outpost here, villager on the deer patch. Monk bringing home a second relic. Let's take a look at the relic count for the French though. None so far. Should be able to pick up this one on the right. Does have quite a few villages on this gold vein and an outpost, so that's pretty secure. Unlikely that the monk for the English will be able to pick that one up. Outpost going on the front line. Don't forget the network of castles bonus that the English get. It's actually 20%, so I was right the first time. It's 20% attack speed for the network of castles, and we can see now palisade walls going around the wood line, not looking to have a nasty over chop there. Things have certainly quietened down. It looks like both players are saving up for a big fight. Bit tentative from both players, both respecting each other quite a lot. Eight knights with a scout going around the south now. Going to get some damage, let some value, let's see what's going on. There is a wood line that's pretty exposed, no military on the field near there. There are some behind. Knights are being pulled forward now. Might look to engage if needed. Looks like the monk or HuT bringing that back home. That's a lot of knights, guys. The number of knights here for the French is pretty spectacular, actually. Got 4 there, and there's got a massive army there. Nicely healed up, full health almost. What's interesting with both players going for knights and archers, well, going full knights could be a play here, but not really for HuT because Kira has actually teched into some spearmen. HuT quite keen to get the walls back up again and make sure that he is fully walled here. The farming transition is coming out from the French now slowly. Farming transition has been on there for a while for Kyo, but that's understandable playing as the English, and it's kind of expected. Kyo looking to get another layer of palisades on the left side. Oh, but might be spotted there by the knights. The villager gets pulled back. Kyo notices it. He's going to be cautious about that area. Looks like HuT has opted to get some sacred sites. The one on the left is being capped right now by the French. It could be knights and spearmen as the main army composition for Kyo here. Both players macroing quite hard here, spending a lot of their resources. Now here comes the engagement. The knights do get the charge attack for Kyo. Don't forget HuT has a better knight army here. The spears are there, and that's enough to push the army from HuT back. He's going to group his army together. There were archers on the field, yep, quite a significant number of them. Veteran archers no less, and I'm sure they will be brought to the fight. And with good micro, the veteran archers will be able to get some good damage on the spears. There's a lot of spears there. Not enough army in terms of knights, it feels like, for Kyo. Now the French going for the central sacred site. Maybe need to get the right one as well. Take a look at the relic counts. Should be 2 for... yeah, 2 for the French and 3 for the English. Oh, yep, 3 for the English. Cetrosake has been denied. Knight's going to go around the left side again. And Kyo just biding his time. You get the feeling that Kyo is playing this one in a nice way because he's getting some horsemen. He's actually really mixing up his army composition. It just feels like maybe he doesn't know what to do here. Not doubling down on one particular unit. Getting some monks on the front line as well. The thing is that he will be quite happy to prolong the game as long as he can. He'll probably be quite confident about his chances the longer the game goes on. It'd be quite nice to see a keep come out of Kyo though. HuT does have enough to afford a keep. Will he place it down in his production buildings? A keep here will be incredibly strong. That will reduce the cost of his units for the archer ranges and the stables that he has there. Speaking of army, the army is now circling on the left side. That has palisade walled up. HuT doesn't really have too much of an attack angle. Gonna go around straight through the front. Outpost being torched down. The army for Kyo gonna rush in. Charge tech goes in. Spearmen rush in. I don't think the spearmen are really going towards the knights. They are now. Veteran longbows versus the veteran archers. Spearmen getting good value here on the knights. This is a big fight. You feel like Kyo's got an advantage with the spears. But the archers here and behind for HuT are microing the spearmen down quite nicely. Don't forget the knights for the French have got Imperial Age upgrades and looks like that's going to win. French triumphing on this fight, that is for sure. Kyo not getting the keep down quick enough. HuT decides to place his one down instead, and that is a big problem. Kyo is going to be under a lot of pressure. That was a huge fight. That was a decisive fight, and certainly heading in the way of the French. In the blink of an eye, 66 military versus 10. This game went from 0 to HuT because HuT is now prowling around the English base with a lot of army. He's going to be taking down the static defenses and he's trying to get a keep here in defensive position. That might buy him some time, but you're not sure if it's going to be enough because the military count really dwindling here. And how does Kyo fight this back? He's facing up against partially Imperial Age units here in the form of the knights, and the veteran archers have been built. The keep does go up. HuT doesn't care. He's going to rush in, going to get village kills, and you get the feeling that Kyo is under so much pressure here. Villagers aren't having enough space to garrison inside the keep, and losing so many villagers means the economy is going to be dwindling. And 99 villagers for HuT, 108 for Kyo. That third town centre has gotten him a bit of a lead in terms of villagers, but the idle time being caused here is really extensive, and now the English are under a lot of pressure. They are a defensive civilization, but I'm not sure even they have enough defences here today on Dry Arabia against the French, played by HuT. Keep still there, getting good damage on the knights. The knights are healing as they dance around that keep. And the archers just need to camp here. There's not a lot more they need to do. Keeping all the villages idle is certainly worth it. Kyo floating resources, not able to spend it. He needs to get the production buildings down, that is for sure. Knights are diving in a little bit now, dwindling in numbers somewhat. He might not want to keep the numbers here, but he is certainly opting to. Villagers are going to start to build some barracks, but yeah, it just needs more production buildings. Kyo almost has enough resources to go to Imperial Age. I mean, that tells a story. Not that he should go to Imperial Age. Although going with the Berkshire Palace might not be a bad idea. Trouble is, he won't have any units backing that up, and the villagers need to run here on the right side. I mean, is that what he's waiting for? I don't know, let's take a look at the production queue for Kyo rather. Getting a network of citadels bonus. I think he might be opting for the Imperial Age. Can't think of else what's going on. He's not producing units. What is going on here? 9 military for Kyo. He's under pressure. Trebuchets. Keep. Siege workshop. HuT is doubling down. He's pushing his advantage. He's building a proxy base. He's pushing hard. Keep being repaired by stone. Villagers on using the stone to repair the keep, but that's not going to stay lasting for too long unless the market's being used. Does look like Kyo is opting for that Imperial Age. He's being greedy. And he's producing, to be fair, as well, though. There's that Imperial Age. Is it going to be the... I think it's got to be the Berkshire, right? It's got to be. Where will he build it, though? Yeah, it is going to be the Berkshire Palace. Will offer some protection, but I mean, it's going to protect the farming economy, but not the wood lines. Not the forward farms. This is looking bad for Kyo. I'm going to try and get a stronger push together. The army's starting to build up. He's actually teched into Arbaletier. And that's incredibly strong because these guys have incredibly high base damage. And the food economy, gold economy, looking strong for HuT. That's all he needs to do, really. Just focus on food and gold. Holy smokes, he's got 5 trebuchets. These landmarks are going to go down in a heartbeat. And even with the Berkshire Palace, I'm not sure it's going to be up. There is the Imperial Age. But HuT won't mind that too much. He knows his opponent has just invested a heck of a lot of resources into that age up. There go the trebuchets, taking down the secondary town centre. On the right side, Villagers do get taken out. Those knights kept on the chase. Interesting enough, that HuT hasn't got that central sacred site. Really would like to have it. I think there's, yeah, 5 trebuchets. Dishing out the damage now on the town centres. This is looking rough for Kyo on game number 1 on Dry Arabia. Looks like HuT might take this. Kyo trying to hold on. It's getting the elite upgrade to the Spearman. So they will be able to do some damage against the Knights, but that's only if they can engage because the Arbaletier are there. Another forward keep for HuT, cementing his position. Holy smokes, he's doubling down. The Knights are biding their time. They're not diving in just yet. Holding on. Siege is pushing on that. Capital Town Centre goes down. Just the Council Hall, the King's Palace, and the Berkshire Palace alive. Town Centre's gone down, the main one. A 6th trebuchet being added by HuT. He is committed to the Castle Age. It looks like it's going to be working out for him. Trebuchets unpack again. Horsemen are diving for Kyo, looking to try and snipe out the trebuchets, but there are Arbaletier in the mix, and Knight's going to go around as well, and those horsemen are going to be trapped. Spearmen are on hand to try and follow this up, but the Arbaletier are there as well. The Spearmen do rush in. These guys are elite Spearmen, but the Arbaletier in behind should be able to do decent damage. The Knights head back. They're not going to take a straight up engagement. Actually, looks like it is. There is a Mangonel there on the field. That's a nice addition for HuT, that is for sure. The Mangonel going to get some good value. Council Hall is burning to the ground. Kyo doesn't have any military on the field. 89 military, and I don't even have the time to check how much military Kyo has. Probably next to nothing, because he is down and out on game number 1. HuT taking this game on the Dry Arabia map. French reigning supreme on the English. 1-0 to HuT. Game number 2 coming right up. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2 of this best of 5 set, and just to reorientate ourselves, we've seen game number 1 already, but let's take a look at the brackets. So we're covering today match D for pool 1, HuT versus Kyo, in the early stages of this August monthly for pool 1. HuT versus Kyo, the winner of whom will go on to face up against Zerton or Sortov. And I am going to be looking to cover most of the sets, if not all, so do check out the YouTube channel if you're interested in some of the other sets. And let's now introduce the players in this second game. HuT playing in the southwest in red as the Chinese. On the northeast of the map, we've got Kyo playing in blue as the Mongols. The map is Kawasan, and we've seen quite a few times the Mongols being picked on this map. They can be really, really advantageous to use up their aggressive bonuses that they get, losing the Ovu, the double production, and getting those fishing ships out nice and early with a dock. Can be very, very good for the Mongols. The Chinese have a good wood economy, especially if they are supervising. They have a generally good economy overall. Maybe looking to get those docks up nice and early themselves. Will we see an early Imperial official for HuT? Doesn't appear so. Looking to get 4 villagers on food and the rest to wood, it seems. And sending a villager out to dock this east pond so far. Do we see a villager for Kyo just yet? Doesn't appear so. Kawasan, certainly one of the most interesting maps on the road to Redbull Wololo Legacy. See barracks being built by Kyo, so it does look like it's going to be early aggression as expected. Now, one thing to bear in mind as well, whilst Kyo and the Mongols can double produce using the Ovu, don't forget the Chinese can supervise their barracks as well and really start to churn out those spearmen. And I do like what HuT's doing here. Walling up to this wood line just offers them some protection of that dock. The spearmen will have to go the other way around, that is for sure. Or around the wood line at least. Coming out with an early village. The village will increase that population space very nicely for HuT. Fishing economy is underway now. For HuT, getting an early fishing ship. 2 fishing ships are there. No fishing economy just yet for Kyo. Holy smokes, that Khan is moving fast. He is on a mission. It's going to be barracks here. As expected for HuT and the Chinese. What I do like about Kawasan is that it's often very aggressive in the feud age. You can see 2 spearmen already on the field here for Kyo. Looking to start torching down that dock, and the problem for HuT is it doesn't really have any units there just yet. It's going to start producing the spearmen. They do produce pretty fast from the barracks, but not if they're not supervised, and they're not being supervised right now. Yep, okay, so now it's being supervised, and now the spearmen all start to pump out very quickly. You can just see the progress bar on that spearman very, very fast. They will be popping out soon. But there are 4 spearmen here for Kyo, so this is a problem for HuT. He might lose this position. The numbers advantage looking good for Kyo here. I do like where HuT's docked as well. You can see it's very selective where he's docked. He's actually put it right opposite the deep water fish. Negates the travel time for the fishing ships. Spearman coming forward. Now this is a smart play by Kyo. He's actually dragging the spearman away. Yeah, this is so smart. He's dragging the spearman away from the dock. At least temporarily. And now HuT is going to move the spearman closer. Will he be able to deny this? Village is being brought out as well. Will it be a Barbican? Might be a Barbican on this area. Village is certainly being brought to repair at least. 5 of them. He's desperate to keep that alive. Well, it won't be a Barbican. He doesn't have the resources. What am I talking about? He is far, far away from having the resources to do so, but might have been an outpost or two. He decides that he's actually going to try and just keep this dock alive and keep the village on hand to fight. Does not want to lose the waters at this stage. But Kyo really bringing in some idle time though. Certainly helpful for his cause here in this fight. The spears take the engagement. Good initial engagement there for Kyo. Takes out the scout. 6 spears for HuT. A lot more for Kyo. Kyo looking strong here. Should be able to take a fight, but the villagers might have something to say about this. The villagers getting involved. I think Kyo won't mind necessarily. He is focusing fire on some of the villagers, and that's the problem for HuT. We'll be losing villagers, crucial villagers, in this early stage of the game. One villager does go down, with good micro, more might as well, and Kyo wins that fight. HuT has to pull back, looking to be a bad start for here for HuT on Kawasan. Might lose another villager, especially if the Khan gets his maneuver arrow. He can actually use it. Opts not to. Yeah, he's focusing on the spear. He's focusing on the villagers. Bit surprised not to see the maneuver arrow being used there. Instead, those 2 spears do get taken out for Kyo. So a little bit of miss micro there, for Kyo's perspective at least, and the Khan needs to be careful. Khan needs to be very careful. Quite a few weak spears. The Khan just being annoying here. Villagers again trying to torch down that dock. That could be quite significant. Yeah, that dock might be going down. That is a big, big problem for HuT. He's going to lose the water on the side. As we said, though, Kyo has not actually docked himself, so he will want to do that. The dock goes down. Only 2 fishing ships were invested, though, for HuT. Still, the initial investment in the idle time caused here by the 5 villagers that were pulled. Most of whom died, by the way. 22 villagers for HuT at the moment. 24 for Kyo. Early advantages certainly in Kyo's favour, but look at the spearman production. HuT's really doubled down. He's being aggressive here. He's continuing the chase. Kyo doesn't really have the production here. That's a concern, because once he has actually used up all his stone for the double production of the Ovu, he's only effectively got 1 barracks. Having to pack up and move now. The idle time being caused here by HuT is certainly good. Might be able to trap the... Yeah, he's going to trap the Gur. He's going to take it out. That Gur will be going down unless it's pressured and defended. Let's get an attack. Talsut are getting some fights as well, and that's going to be quite effective. Gur manages to survive. Lives to fight another day with that Gur. An important part of the game there, having that Gur. Early advantages would be had if that Gur was taken care of. Going up with the deer stones, the Mongols. No, there is that age up. Trouble for HuT is he invested a lot. He invested a lot. Is it going to get another dock up? Invested a lot in the spears. He's going to be a million miles away from the fuselage. That's going to be a concern. It's going to take a fight here. Spearmen. These are hardened, but still don't have the numbers here, Kyo. Can't really take the fight. Well, he can take it now when they're grouped together. Especially because they're hardened. HuT decides better of it. He doesn't want to fight that. He goes into line formation. Quite nice micro there by HuT. Line formation will be more efficient for taking the fight. Still fishing ships being produced now, so HuT doubling down on the waters, but look at this. Kyo going to get a dock up himself, and now that he's in the feudal age, he'll be able to get some light junks. Same cannot be said about HuT, still in the Dark Age. 8.5 minutes on the clock. Double dock for Kyo as well. That's going to be a problem for HuT, you feel. HuT is looking to dock the left-sided pond as well, so we'll be in there for a bit more, at least for now. If he can defend nicely, that might help him. If he can get the dock on the left side, that fish economy will be good for him. Will he go up with the Barbican? No, he's going to go up with the Imperial Academy. Spearman going to torch down that gate and then focus on the dock again, and that's an issue. A lot of investment here, and here comes the light junk. Spearman on hand for HuT. Dock's still alive though. Gonna have to be good at micro here for HuT, that's for sure. There's the feudal age for HuT though. The Spearman going to try and take down this dock. That could be key, but it looks like Kyo is going to be under pressure here. A couple of archers there. HuT going to charge with his spears. That's a nice transition there for Kyo with the archers, that is for sure. The dock will go down for HuT. Economy will be idled. Going to lose a lot of fishing economy there. Now you get the feeling Kyo could double down on the pond there. Get fishing ships of his own. HuT decides to head back home. HuT does have the pond on the left side. Going to get a Barbican on the left side with berries as well on the mill. But look at this, Kyo docking on the left side as well. That's going to be a problem for HuT, that's for sure. Spearman charging in. The Archer's going to be winning that fight despite the upgrade to Hardened Spearman for HuT. Looks like the Barbican and the Sun will go up, but might lose a couple of villages, maybe just one. Spearman engage, Archers are behind. The Barbican and Sun is up now, so Kyo will want to retreat from that position. He'll not want to fight there. Kyo looking pretty heavy on wood. Of course, looking to get those light junk out. Thing is, HuT does have a junk out of his own on the left side pond. Looks like HuT might be able to keep the waters on the left if he's careful about it. Of course, Kyo has that right sided pond. Could do with a refreshment go here. A lot of walking distance on the west side. Again, Kyo still trying to challenge here. Does have two light junks out on the field now, so does actually have the numbers advantage. Where's this light junk going? Where are you going, mate? Yep, now it focuses fire. This one's being repaired as well from the dock. That's a problem for HuT. On the land, Spearman heading forward for Kyo is actually going to get a ram as well. Might be the beginnings of a ram push here on land. HuT's going to be struggling to defend this. Let's take a look at the military count for HuT. Only 8 on the field versus the 32. That is a big problem for HuT. He's trying to commit to the waters and keep him alive. But at this point, Kyo is looking to be attacking on land, and that's a problem. HuT doesn't see that. He doesn't see it, but he's going to see the ram soon. The ram is starting to move forward. A couple of archers in behind. Archers coming out for HuT as well, but they won't be able to take care of the ram. The archers do focus on the archers. There are 4 there for Kyo. 5 there. Certainly got the numbers advantage, but it's fighting underneath the town centre. The hand cannon slits from the town centre, focus firing automatically on those archers. That could become a problem. Villages being pulled now for HuT. They decide better of it because Spearmen are charging in. There is the maneuver arrow, or attack arrow rather. And the ram is going to get trapped though. For Kyo, that is a problem. Yep. That is a nice trap there for HuT. Takes out 300. Oh, I think it's been nerfed, isn't it? How much there are now? I think it's 250. Yeah, 250 wood for a ram. 250 wood has been lost. Now HuT can consolidate again. Does have still some fishing economy on the left side. Junk being microed here by Kyo. 3 versus 3. Right-sided pond completely under control of Kyo though, which is very nice for him. Welcome, welcome Isaac. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're enjoying the casting so far. HuT versus Kyo. Game number 2 on Kawasan. Okay, Kyo does lose a light junk though. I think Kyo will be able to hold on here. Doesn't have the numbers advantage. Looks like HuT will have access to the left-sided pond, so after all that crazy engagements at the beginning, it looks like HuT will stabilize with one pond, but doesn't have all that many fishing ships just yet. Oh, a lot of idle villagers there. Holy smokes, HuT. You got 11 idols. These guys didn't get the memo. Now they move to do something. But they're going to be going to wood. On the back of this, the Mongols are doubling down in the field age, quadruple archery range, and the barracks. Gonna head forward with those archers, that is for sure. Trickling them in just for now. Adding them in to the army. Rams coming in on the right side this time. And the problem for HuT, he doesn't have the military. Military numbers incredibly strong here for Kyo. Let's take a look. In total, 23 for HuT, 39, 40 for Kyo. Now moving on the left side, weaving in and out on the left side and right side. Villagers moving to the left-sided wood line, and Kyo knows that's the only wood line he really has access to at this point. Villagers on stone, maybe HuT was looking for a second town centre. That's not going to happen anytime soon. Not with the pressure that's coming in. A second ram and a third ram being built by Kyo. Ram rush is on the way. Well, villagers on wood can be sniped, and that's the problem. HuT losing villagers left, right, and centre. 48 economy for HuT, 54 for Kyo, and he's going to take the fight here. HuT can't do that. He doesn't have the numbers. Oh, village is going to be sniped. Village is being pulled. I think this is a... Yeah, this is a problem here for HuT. The archers just need to focus on the villagers now. Villagers running forward. I don't know where they are going. They're running to their death. Slowly but surely, Kyo looking strong in this game at the moment. 43 villagers versus the 56, and that lead is looking good. Market going down for HuT, looking to balance the economy. But take a look. Spearmen rushing in on the wrong side of that wood line. Get ambushed by the archers. Ram's starting to push in now. So Ram going towards the north pond as well. That might be able to do something. We can take the dock out there, that would be huge. I'm just going to dive on this wood line now. Where does HuT go for wood? It's going to go for this back wood line near the berries. Barracks gets taken down. Kyo looking still to do some damage. These are Zhuge-Nu now on the field. Or the Chinese, another ram. If the rams can take out the villages, that can become a problem. Population capping quite nicely. More villagers on the wood line. HuT's not reacting. Those villagers are going to be going down to the archers. That's going to be a lot more dead workers. At this point, Kyo doesn't really mind losing archers here. He's going to trade them very nicely for villagers. Again, more villagers go down. 39 economy versus 58. He's losing them faster than he can produce them. The Zhuge-Nu might clear this up though. Spearmen rushing in. A couple of rams going to go forward. Maybe on the villagers. The villagers does get taken down. So if this village gets taken down, HuT will be population capped. That will become a problem for him, that's for sure. We'll need to invest even more wood in another village. Doesn't really have the wood at this point though. That's the big problem. Yeah, it's going to invest in another village there. Now the village is on fire, and that will be taken down. The rams might go down to the villagers though. They've been coming out with their torches. Rams trying to retreat. One does go down. And Kyo quite happy with the damage he's done. He's going to head back home. Maybe look to get to the castle age and just double down on this game. Kyo looking strong here. Now Zhuge-Nu being pushed forward with some villagers. Whatever little villages that HuT has left anyway. But where are they going? The villagers are going to be sniped again. Looks like it's going to go for the deer. I think Kyo is just going to focus fire on the Zhuge-Nu. It might even focus on the villagers. Either way, he's going to get good value. Starts to head back. Yeah, it's going to focus fire on the Zhuge-Nu. It's in the line formation earlier, so it's going to get better value. As you can see, some units being caught out there. Yeah, the numbers here overwhelming for Kyo and the Mongols. I feel like HuT's going to be overrun relatively soon. Now Post manages to go up there for Kyo, getting the arrow slits. Still has access to the food there on the west side dock there for HuT. Doesn't have nearly enough as nearly as much as fishing ships as Kyo does on the right pond, and now the ram rush continues. Archers dancing around the rams. Kyo will be able to afford another one very soon. Getting an outpost as well, that's a strong position to have one in. Be able to get arrow slits there. That will become a very good staging ground for Kyo to push on from. But HuT hasn't bowed out yet. He's not down and out yet. Continuing with the Zhuge-Nu production, 24 of them. Quite a sizable number now. The nice thing for Kyo is that not only does his outpost offer vision and a staging ground attack, protects the deer, he can actually take those villages back to actually get the deer. Now the good thing for Kyo is that he can actually afford to spend time taking down these buildings because he gets raiding bonus. Every time that these buildings go on fire, he gets bonuses of food and gold. The archer's going to engage in the Zhugnu. One villager does go down trying to build up the outpost. As you can see, there we are. Got some bonuses there by being the Mongols. Rams going for the jugular, going towards the central town centre. The army's not in position though, so he might lose the ram here. So he gets a few hits though on the town centre. The Zhugnu taking ages to kill. I'm not sure why the villagers aren't popping out. Perhaps felt like he didn't need to run that risk. More rams coming out in the back. HuT looking in trouble in game number 2. 47 villagers versus 67. Good 20 villager lead. Looks like Kyo is quite happy to content just to take care of this economy in the middle. Take down the Barbican. And maybe look to take down the dock. And Kyo does now reach the castle age. I'll be interested to see what units he goes for. Does he go for knights? Does he go for man-at-arms? It's actually going with the man-at-arms play. It makes sense because he sees lots of Zhugnu. Man-at-arms should do pretty decent against that. Kyo's got plenty of gold and food to spend as well. Might be looking to double down and get a prayer tent for some relics perhaps, but will he just go for the juggling and get the kill? Gonna go for a stable instead. Next to the oven. Look at the number of archers he's got. Villagers will be going down there. There was a separate doubt that the Mongols player went up with. Kyo does offer them a big bonus. Gold dropped off at this Gurm is increased by 50%. But what's interesting is that it's not actually being used right now. I mean, Kyo doesn't really... Okay, well, anyway, that's it. We thought it might head in that direction. I think the ram rush was strong. That almost killed them off. And because of that, he taps out. HuT calls it. He's had enough on Kawasan. And he calls a GG. We'll take a quick look at that ram rush and the damage it was dealing out because it looked to be significant. Now we can't see it anymore. The game is over. It doesn't matter. We've been heading straight into game number 3. Kyo drawing one back, 1-1 apiece. And game number 3 coming right up. Welcome back, ladies and gents, to game number 3. We had a fantastic game number 2 on Kawasan. What a back and forth game, but we're moving swiftly on to 4 legs. Game number 3 between HuT and Kyo, with HuT playing on the right lower quadrant of this map in red as the Rus. And on the northwest in blue is Kyo playing as the Holy Roman Empire. Arguably the 2 strongest civilizations on 4 legs for very different reasons, but we've talked about the Rus a lot. A very commonly picked civilization on 4 legs, and we see something very different here from HuT. We've talked about it before on the channel and my casting of these games on 4 legs. There seems to be 2 different builds for the Rus. One with a early hunting cabin, get us an extra scout, really helps with the bounty, but also can enable you to get an early wheelbarrow, which really bolsters the economy. The other type of build is a straight villager onto wood and then get an early dock. Obviously with the hunting cabin, it's quite a heavy wood investment, costing quite a significant amount of wood, 100 wood to be exact. It does delay your dock being put down and the lodger fishing ships coming out. So he's going for that trade, he's going for the hunting cabin first. It will give him a gold trickle as well, 22 gold per minute to be exact. And he'll probably look to get a dock a little bit later on as the game progresses. But it does offer him the access to the extra scout from the hunting cabin rather than the town centre. And it means he can get this bounty. He's rocking and rolling already. He's getting a good 2 deer patches in this one spot, and that's quite nice for him. And that's not even going to be challenged. A second scout coming. This is a lot of bounty, guys. So with 2 deer patches, that's usually the aim you want as a bare minimum for the Rus. And that's exactly what he's going to get. He's going to get wolves as well, and he's going to make very quick work of this. You can see he's microing this like a madman. And HuT is known for his micro, that is for sure. Now, the reason why the Holy Roman Empire are incredibly strong is because of the eco bonuses. The prelate kind of buffering these villages by 40% gathering speed. That is a huge amount, and especially on wood, that does enable them to get a dock pretty nice and early. They can get the fishing boats out, and to couple that, they're not half bad on water. If Kyo, playing as the Holy Roman Empire, can get a sneaky dock up on HuT's pond, which is just about to dock now, The Holy Roman Empire get access to the galley in the feudal age, an incredibly strong unit, 180 wood, 180 gold. It's expensive, but it's incredibly strong, and it's certainly more strong. It's certainly more strong than the Loggia attack ships. And so, Holy Roman Empire on water in feudal age in a straight-up fight just win over the Rus. And so that could become a problem for the Rus. What we have seen the Rus players often do is wall up the whole pond just to make sure their opponent can't dock it, just to really protect this economy, protect the pond as much as they can, because if your opponent docks, gets galleys out onto the pond, it's almost, I mean, it can be pushed back, it can be done, we've seen it happen. In fact, we saw Zertan do it on Holy Island against not Zertan, we saw Recon do it against, I believe it was Wham. Yeah, it was Wham on Holy Island, so that was an incredibly good display. It can be done with the Rus, but it ain't easy. You really have to invest. In fact, it was the Chinese. It was the light junk versus the Holy Roman Empire. So slight different civilization, but similar sort of units. But in any case, definitely as the Rus, you won't want the Holy Roman Empire docking on this pond. Going out to gold now is Kyo. Will he be looking towards getting a pretty fast castle age? He's got 4 villages still on, 5 villages on gold. Or he might be looking to get that sneaky dock up. He's doing something. He's doing something with the gold. Maybe the fast feudal might pull off some villages off of gold soon. He's investing in that quite significantly. It's now 6 villages in gold. It might be a fast castle. Might be a greedy straight up fast castle here for Kyo. That could be dangerous because the Rus are no slouches in the feudal age. A lot of fishing ships coming out for Kyo though. 5 of them. That'll pay back very quickly. One thing to bear in mind as well, that Rus only can afford limited, well, compared to their opponents, these Loggia fishing ships are very expensive. Double the cost, 150 wood versus 75. And so whilst that they are very efficient, you can see that little dip there with the fishing ship. It means it's depositing food. Doesn't have to head back to the dock. Not that there was that much farther to travel anyway. But certainly on these ones, that'd be a long distance to travel. These guys are incredibly efficient, but they cost more wood. So it'd be interesting to see, because he's only been able to afford 2 fishing ships so far versus the 6. It'd be interesting to see which is more efficient. I get the feeling this would be more efficient despite the travel time. But it would be interesting to get some numbers out there on the field to really determine what's more efficient. It does really depend on the travel distance as well, though. We do see Arkan Chapel going in a very nice spot here for the Holy Roman Empire. Going to be influencing villages on berries, the wood, and also the sheep there if they're brought towards the north corner of that town centre. Golden Gate is the landmark of choice. I don't even remember the last time we saw Kremlin. So we kind of anticipate this 8 villages being used to get that Golden Gate up, and one of the most strongest landmarks in the game arguably, really offers a favourable trade of tickets, acts like a market, and could really help you rebalance your economy as the Rus. There's the Arkan Chapel, the fast age up there by Kyo. That explains why there were 6 villages there. And it's gonna keep them there. Yeah, it's gonna keep 5 villages there. That's gonna be a huge amount of gold income coming in very fast there for Kyo. Has made another prelate as well, so it's going to be boosting these villages on gold as well as keeping a prelate garrison inside that Arkan Chapel. And we can see now the palisade walls coming out for HuT. He needs to defend that position. He doesn't want any shenanigans, doesn't want any sneaky docks coming up, and he seems like he's done a decent job at it. Now, will any player go for the neutral docks? We shall see. Oh, looks like HuT was sending a villager over. Sneaky, sneaky. He gets caught out by the scout though. HuT does get to the feudal age now. Scout being attacked by HuT. Kyo just manages to save that one. Prelate being used to heal. Oh, she backs off there. The thing is that that's a key bit of information that HuT sees though. He'll see that there are 5 villages on gold. He knows that his opponent doesn't have a dock on his pond, so he's not going to be investing the gold into galleys, and so, well, that only leaves one option. He will recognise that the Holy Roman Empire are opting to go for the Castle Age, so HuT has a decision on his mind with that scouting intel. Does he go for the Castle Age himself, or does he double down in the feudal age to try and be aggressive? And it looks like it's the latter. Going to go for an arch range, going to go for a stable. Trouble is, the Holy Roman Empire, we've talked about it before, how strong their economy is. It's going to be going up to that castle age very, very soon, and you get the feeling it's going to be with the Regnates A second dot going down for HuT. That is pretty greedy at this stage of the game, especially with his opponent going up to the castle age. Not sure I like that play. Villager there for Kyo, looking to get a dock of his own. Okay, it makes sense. They're both going for the same pawn, to be fair. Ooh, some of these villagers are being inspired. Some of them are being captured when they're walking. It looks like it's going to be the Regnitz Cathedral. As expected, it's going to be a bit of a relic battle for now. An early knight is on the field for HuT. Good thing about having military here for the Rus is that they'll be able to get the military on those relic points. You need to try and deny them if you can, because that's what the prelates will be after here today on Four Lakes. Looks like Kyo looking to wall up this right side of his base, offer him some protection. This is actually a really key area of the map, actually. There are 2 gold veins here. That's an incredibly rich source of resources, this area, this north part of the map. We'll be keeping that gold vein out, but it's a risk he's willing to take. 2 gold veins will be enough for him. He'll certainly be able to expand later if he needs to. Spearman does come out of the barracks, but there is an archer there as well for HuT. So HuT pushing Kyo off of gold, and this is what you need to do if you're up against the Holy Roman Empire. But this is fantastic play. This is so key and so strategic by Kyo. He knows that his opponent might push him off of gold, on the front lines at least. And so he needs to protect that back gold. And he's going to be able to do so. So he's not going to be cut off gold by any means. Going to get a stable on the field, maybe look to get some knights of his own. Does have a decent amount of gold still already in the bank, so we'll be able to produce some. Just needs to stable up first. Let's take a look at the galley situation. This is what we said, they're both contesting this. And the Lodge attack ship's not doing half bad. Has the defender's advantage being healed up by the dock. Galley needs to go back home and heal up. A lot of villagers are exposed here for the Rus, so that could become a problem. Opting for a second town centre. We didn't actually spot that. That's key bit of information. Ooh, Prelate gets sniped there. Let's take a look at the village count, because actually the Rus with 2 town centres will be looking strong on the village count. Well, they should do at least. 42 for Kyo, 50 for HuT. So whilst HuT will be stuck in the feudal age for a little while, not for too long, considering the fishing economy and how strong it is for the Rus. We'll get to the castle age at a decent time. He just needs to make sure he competes in the feudal age, whilst he's in the feudal age at least. Double stable knights coming out. Actually, a couple of horsemen rather. Just one stable knight, one stable horseman. It's not really a fight that Kyo can take at the station. Maybe he needs to invest in another galley perhaps. Now moving down to the south, he lost 1 prelate, he doesn't want to lose another. Going to be a market coming out for Kyo. Needs to balance that economy, the food economy looking strong for Kyo, that is for sure. A wooden fortress buffering those villagers will be enhancing the wood dropped off at this lumber camp by 20%. There's not to be sniffed at. Knight was trying to snipe that prelate again with the relic. It's quite nice to deny that for at least a minute or 2 there by HuT. But the Regnitz Cathedral will have its relic inside, will be generating that gold now. Towards the north, villagers being pulled out to wall up the relics that remain on the map. That's a nice idea, it's a nice way to deny things. Kyo actually not deciding to take that fight. Not jumping in, not biting the bait. Villagers being pulled out by Kyo here. Where are these villagers off to? 8 of them. Are they going towards a ball? Looks like it's the high trade house being used by HuT. Going up the high trade house, he's going to be looking aggressive. He's going to be needing to get a monastery down if he wants to challenge for the relics though. We do see the high trade house being used a lot more often these days. There will be a significant amount of gold coming in here, so that's quite a nice position. 182 gold per minute. This relic, has this been walled up? Yeah, it has been walled up. There is another one on the north part. Galley looking to take down the Lodge attack ships. And this pond is still being hotly contested. In the centre of the map, big fight here. 2 knights there for Kyo. Doesn't have the unit numbers here. Despite being against feudal age knights, he is struggling. Doesn't have the numbers he needs. Quite low in health here. Archers are full going forward. This outpost might... Yeah, the outpost will go up, but it might lose a villager. Yeah, it does... Oh, it loses quite a lot of villagers. The villagers get trapped. They try and garrison inside, but only 4 remain. Spearmen are coming out, but this is a problem for Kyo. He's being outnumbered here. And don't forget, HuT is in the castle age now. These knight upgrades will be coming in. Yeah, that's a castle age knight now. And he's getting veterancy for his horseman. That is Kyo going for spearmen as well. So looks like horseman and spearmen is the army of choice. Maybe some knights and armor units mixed in for Kyo. HuT doubling down, going for the knights and getting veterancy of his archers as well. So it's a typical knight archer play by the Rus. Trouble for HuT is it looks like he's going to lose control of this northern pond. And that'd be 2 ponds for Kyo. That's the problem. Relic's being snagged here. Doesn't look like HuT has much military in the field. Didn't manage to get the palisade walls up in time. Now that prelate will be running away with the army in there to defend as well. The southern border. That outpost offers a lot of static defenses. Quite a nice position. Interestingly enough, Kyo actually keeping some village on that forward gold. Wants to mine as much as if he can of that as he can, because he doesn't want to lose that position, or if he does lose that position, he wants to at least have mined a little bit of it. Archer's heading in to the fight as well. Wait, what the hell just happened there? Run to the relic. Wait, I'm so confused. Oh, the relic garrison inside the dock. That is so smart. I totally forgot about this. That's so smart. So that's a bonus that the attack speed of the military ships have been boosted by 5%. I totally forgot that you could garrison relics inside the docks. It's not something you often see, obviously. Don't see that many hybrid maps on Four Lakes. I think it's the first time we've seen a relic being docked on a hybrid map, Four Lakes, on the road to Redbull Wololo Legacy. We've seen it today. Kyo, well aware of the capabilities of the Holy Roman Empire. Large army building up here on the front here. HuT looking menacing. He's looking to push. I think Kyo's looking to bide his time, dropping a third stable. He needs to protect this. I don't know. He's a lot of army diving in here. It doesn't feel like enough army here for Kyo to defend. 35 for HuT, 21 for Kyo. I think Kyo's been a little bit greedy here. He's been going for that north pond, and now that greed is being made to be punished. Archers, knights, perfect combination. Kyo struggling. Kyo would need flat out straight up knights, but he doesn't really have the income to support that. And now the village is going down left, right, and center. That's going to be a problem. Economy is going to be dwindling now. With the 2 town centers for the Rus, I think the Rus looking in big control of this game so far. 77 economy for HuT right now. 45, 44 for Kyo. Kyo struggling big time in the castle age. HuT running in with the knights. He's running left, right, and center, running right inside the base. Kyo looking to try and push this back, but he is struggling. Doesn't have the knight numbers he needs. And economy being idled here big time on Four Lakes. Rus reigning supreme. Town center has 13 villages idled inside. And HuT won't mind that at all. He even has a warrior monk on the field, looking to pick up the relics that he's walled in. Looking in control here, secured a couple of the relics. Only 1 relic in for the Holy Roman Empire. That's incredible denial by HuT. The set is 1 apiece, so this game will have a big bearing on the outcome of this set. The archers picking off the villages on the gold, and this is a problem for Kyo. He's losing left, right, and center. These villages, they are dwindling in numbers. Only 41, and it's dropping, and the army is really starting to build up for HuT. He's diving in. The knights don't mind. They are rushing in, and there it is. HuT takes the win on Four Lakes. Kyo taps out. HuT takes the set. Well, no, it's going to be best of 5. He's going to be taking the set if he wins the next game, but he is now 1. He is now 2-1 up. Kyo has it all to do. He needs to win the next game to stand a chance of winning the set and progressing to the later stages of this game. If you guys are watching on YouTube, do give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you're watching on Twitch, stick around. We'll be casting the rest of the set, that is for sure. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this series, game number 4. We had a cracking game on Four Lakes. Now we are moving over to Woodwall. We've got on the east side of the map HuT playing in red as the Holy Roman Empire. And on the west, Kyo playing in blue as the Abbasid dynasty. Woodwall, I'm a really big fan of this map because what would often seem like a very long game on this map, it often actually isn't. The game is pretty well balanced on this map. It doesn't often turn into a massive slugfest, and it's because there's lots of opportunities for win conditions. The sacred sites being on either side of the cliffs means things can be rather precarious, especially if these sacred sites are activated. If you get walls ahead of the sacred sites and you have the sacred sites activated, it gives your opponent a big headache. And that headache is a decision between trying to, well, I mean, they're forced to effectively decap a sacred site. The moment that you do that, they're exposed in the middle. I mean, sure, there's a big forest in the middle, but we've seen it time and time again. People just chop through, and it's a big problem. So you end up having to split your army. And so if you're the player that has a sacred site, it's quite natural for you then to say, well, you know what? I've got the sacred sites. You can decap it if you want, but when you're decapping it, I'm just gonna, slide into your main base and just take out basically everything you have. And that is a big problem on Wood Wall for a lot of the players, especially if they lose the sacred sites. And that is just one of many strategies that have been emerging on Wood Wall. So I'm really excited to see how this one pans out, especially with the Abbasid dynasty and the Holy Roman Empire. Both civilizations have relatively high win rates, generally speaking, but the Holy Roman Empire can be incredibly strong in the feudal age. They don't seem to be used that way all that often. But we shall see if HuT has a different way of playing the Holy Roman Empire, which is generally tends to be a relatively fast castle into picking up the relics, but we shall see how this one pans out on Wood Wall. It's a critical game because it's his match point for HuT. If he wins this game, he wins the set, he progresses, and he gets even more closer to getting that golden ticket for the Redbull Wololo Legacy main event in Castle Heidelberg, Germany. The Abbasid dynasty going for the berries as expected. 6 villagers on those berries, getting the House of Wisdom nice and early. And now is on the way almost to that feudal age. Just needs a bit more gold and a bit more food. As you can see with his build with the Abbasid dynasty, he's relying on the straggler tree. So again, it's a bit interesting recently. We've been seeing different alternative builds for the Rus on 4 legs, the Abbasid dynasty just generally, and one seems to be a variation of going for straggler trees versus an early lumber camp. Of course, going for the early lumber camp means you can't afford the House of Wisdom as early, and it potentially delays the age up, but we haven't actually looked at the numbers, so it'd be interesting to see the difference between the two builds in the age up times, where one build opts for an early lumber camp and delays the building of the House of Wisdom. And as you can see now on this build for Kyo today, he opts for the House of Wisdom first and then long kind of harvests the wood, long chops the wood, and then I'm sure we'll be dropping that lumber camp as soon as he can afford to, which is right about now actually. Should be dropping that down soon. I suspect he will. There it is. It's going for the short wood line there on the front lines next to the big wood wall. We'll see if that becomes a problem for him later on in the game. All villagers on gold, relatively standard opening. That will give him enough gold for the fresh foodstuffs technology, which would come out of the House of Wisdom after researching the economic wing, making the villagers cost 50% less. Getting that 2 for 1 on the villager cost. Really valuable for the Abbasid dynasty. It naturally leads them on to having a particular strategy of having a 2 town centre build. We shall see if Kyo decides to do that, but he will reveal his hand sooner or later. Chapel, the landmark of choice for the Holy Roman Empire today, played by HuT. No surprises there really, to be honest. And it's in a very nice spot. Covers the gold, covers the wood, covers the sheep on the town centre. You can't really ask for much more than that, to be totally honest. And that's going to be very nice for him on Wood Wall today. There is that feudal age. Now, we do see a lot more villagers still staying on gold, 5 of them, so I suspect it could be a fast castle build here for HuT. We shall see. Getting that wheelbarrow nice and early now. Wheelbarrow coming in for the Abbasid dynasty as well. Now, fresh foodstuffs. Hasn't been clicked just yet. Will be clicked soon, I'm sure. Yep. But he's coming off of gold now. Getting a stable down. We'll look to get some horsemen onto the field. Get some map control. Get some vision. Get some mobility. Will we see him go to stone sooner rather than later? It doesn't seem like he's opting to do so just yet. Wants to get some map control with some horsemen first. HuT, on the other hand, go for stable himself, and you just get the feeling at this stage of the game the Holy Roman Empire just has a superior economy. And just look at the resources bank at the moment. HuT already has 280 food, 270 gold. And he's going to be able to get some horsemen in behind this and continue to edge towards that castle age. Wheelbarrow does now come in for Kyo. Villagers are starting to transition on to stone, so we'll be looking to be possibly a 2 town centre build here. Only 3 villagers so far, it probably will be. Usually for arrow slits in outposts, you tend to usually only go for 2 villages on stone. But as I say that, we shall see if he adds any more for the stone for the 2nd town centre or not. Scout keeping an eye on things. They start to fight each other. Who will be playing chicken? They're playing chicken, guys. Who's going to go down first? Oh, okay. It's going to be Kyo heading back because there is a 2nd scout coming out for HuT. He's not playing chicken. He's getting a 2nd chicken. The horseman going to be getting that first attack there, but horseman by HuT coming in the second one. There's lots of micro going on in this early game, and HuT is definitely known for his micro. Coming in from StarCraft 2, as I say that, he does lose his scouts there. He loses 2 of them. That's a bit rough. Lost them to the town centre. He's too busy microing in the north. Should be able to get away with it here, Keo. Bit of a hit and run action there. Look at the food and gold coming in for HuT. There's actually arguably got a bit too many villages on gold. It's because the Ark and Chapel is boosting everything. Horseman continuing the chase there for Keo. It almost feels as if he's... Yeah, no, it almost felt like he had a double stable. It doesn't, it's just the one stable now. It just has the numbers. Villagers now going towards the wood. He wants to get that wood for that second town centre. Where will he put it? That is the question. I mean, this would be a lovely spot, wouldn't it? This would be an incredibly lovely spot. Deer, berries, wood line. What more could you want? You could want the gold, but let's not be too greedy now. Horseman diving in to the berries. Takes the villager off. No real problem here for HuT so far. Does have the numbers now, actually, if he wants to take an engagement. Villagers being brought out on the right side, going towards the deer patch on the mill. Horseman looking to keep that wood line safe. Keo, will he be paying attention? Will he get the first hits though? HuT. Keo does pay attention. He's going to back off. The scouts are slower. He needs to... No. Don't group them together. The scouts need to... No. The horsemen need to separate. Save the horsemen. Forget the scouts. He's keeping them together. As I said that though, he's bringing reinforcements. He might turn and fight in the stealth forest. He does exactly that. He takes a fight and engagement. Now HuT's the one that returns and heads back home. Both players playing relatively tentative, not wanting to take the fight. 4 horsemen. I'm a bit surprised the HuT didn't take that fight. He did have the numbers advantage. 6 horsemen though. Don't see any upgrades for either player either, so HuT would have actually won that fight, I suspect. Going up with the Regn's Cathedral, HuT not wanting to throw his units away. The good thing is that it's a long way around for HuT to be attacked from, so if Keo wants to... Oh, actually, he might be caught out here. HuT wasn't keeping his army close by, and now the villagers have to be pulled away from the Regn's Cathedral. It was a bit of idle time. He's actually torching down the Regn's Cathedral a little bit. It won't obviously destroy it, but getting good villager idle time. The army is coming back for HuT. HuT does have the superior army. Keo has to back off here. And, I mean, the Regn's Cathedral will go up, but this is a nice bit of play there by Keo, just to idle things a little bit, delay things a little bit. The problem about playing against the Holy Roman Empire is that your mission basically in life, in the game against the Holy Roman Empire, is to essentially delay them for as long as you possibly ever can. I mean, that's the key. You want to delay their castle age time, you want to delay their relics. If you can do that, you can stand a chance. Especially when you've got the second town centre up and running now. Let's take a look at the village count. I think, well, we'll just keep an eye on this because, he should back off and run away. Not if he keeps a scout in the control group though. He needs to take the scout off the group. But the problem is the scout moves slower than all the other horsemen. And so if you keep it in one group, then the horsemen get lumped in with the scout in the formation and the attack speed really reduces, and you can see now the horsemen being picked apart. That's the problem. I guess that castle age is going to start to pick up the relics already. You can hear the chiming, prelate picking one up already. Keo losing a lot of units here, dancing around back and forth, going to try and snipe the relic. Or the prelate rather. Oh, this is a nice play though. It takes one horseman. Oh, he's leading them back though. I thought he was going to lead one horse. He was going to take one horseman away to lead about 4 to follow. The scout was killing him. This scout needs to die. He's killing everything. On the right side, horseman diving in to see if he gets a baddie on the berries. Let's take a look at the village count now that we can breathe. 36 villages for Keo, 27 for HuT. So villager count really starting to rise for the Abbasid dynasty. That does give them a little bit of a window. Wololo going off, doesn't get off though. The horsemen do run out of the way. So yeah, I mean the Abbasid dynasty do have a bit of a window of attack when the economy starts to kick in. Trouble is they can't delay it too long because if the Imperial Age comes in for the Holy Roman Empire and the printer comes out, as long as the HRE can defend, that printer will rebalance the economy and really start to push the power back in the swing of the Holy Roman Empire. So certainly into the mid-Castle Age game, the Abbasid dynasty can have a bit of a spike in power because of the economy that they have with that second town centre. Horsemen's heading towards the north side. We need to keep an eye on this because there are knights here. These are Castle Age units. This is not really a fight that Keo can take. He needs to just keep the army away from his base. And this is quite a nice play by Keo because, yeah, sure, it might seem like he's just running away, but he's running away north. And that's exactly what he wants to do. He wants to keep this army away from his base, which is relatively unprotected right now. Having said that, he doesn't want to get caught out in the stealth forest. The horsemen are on the chase, a couple of knights as well. The knight has 1.94 movement speed. The horseman 1.88. Well, the horseman would... Oh, this one... Wait, hang on a minute. Oh, okay, it's because of the, I think some sort of charge attack, but in any case. Yeah, the horseman's movement speed does increase a little bit with the charge attack, and we'll be able to pick up a second predator. That's actually good value. That's actually a lot of resources lost there for the Holy Roman Empire. Losing 2 prelates there and denying the gold a little bit there, but... Wait, the relic got inside. Oh, no. Okay, I take that back. The prelate goes down, but the relic got deposited. That's 3 relics for the Holy Roman Empire. That's a bit of a problem. That's going to escalate gold count for HuT very, very quickly. But Kyo definitely needs a win here. A couple of spearmen involved. That should be able to do decently against the knight. Even the knight's castle age units. Oh, I say that. There's only 2 spearmen. Doesn't have the numbers. Charge that gets off and wipes out that spearman. Sure, the spearmen are the counter unit, but not the feudal age ones. Well, they still counter to an extent. They do a decent amount of damage, but they need the numbers. That is the issue. It often becomes a numbers game. Knights can take relatively cost-effective trades, as you saw there, if they had the numbers. Quite a few villagers on gold. Looks like Kyo is hoping to get up to the castle age soon. Struggling on the food count. Horseman going to dive on that gold mine. A couple of spears, but not enough. You get the feeling HuT will be able to take that trade, but there is horseman as well, so this could go either way, actually. The horseman in the background for Kyo might be doing a bit of damage. Yeah, the spear's doing great work there. Knight goes down, and that's the problem. The horseman will not be able to take that fight. The knights, potentially. Only 2 knights were there, though, I think. And so the horsemen do push that back. Spearmen push it back, and now Holy Roman Empire still trying to get some damage with the 3 knights, though. Keeping the economy idle. Quite a lot of villagers still having to be garrisoned inside the town centres. On the north side, again, horsemen charge it down. Should be a fight that Kyo wins. As you can see, the movement speed does increase all the horsemen when they're on the charge, so when they should be able to charge it down. But knight keeping villagers honest at home, the town centre will need to be garrisoned inside. Villagers being slaughtered here. Taking deer. 1 goes down, 2 spearmen come out. It'll be interesting to see actually who wins this. Actually, the town centre's firing as well, so a knight will go down. Knight's heading on the north side as well, so HuT getting good raiding value in here, keeping the army for Kyo at home. And that's quite significant, but look at the production buildings. 5 stables, 2 barracks. So Kyo is going pretty aggressive. It's going to be heading into the castle age very soon. Going up with the culture wing. Looking to get preservation of knowledge, no doubt, to make those technologies cheaper by 30%. Yeah, same knights, but the Abbasid dynasty do get camels, and so that is the army of choice really at this stage, because knights will be countered by those camels, and we will see camels today led by the Abbasid dynasty. 1 spear, getting a couple of pokes, but knights might just turn around and fight, and they do exactly that. HuT taking the trade, takes the spearman out, and look at this, HuT walling up the left side, offers him a lot of protection. 3 relics, and probably even more by now. Going up with the Palace of Swabia, that is key bit of detail here. That is huge. Let's take a look at the economy here. 59 villagers for Kyo, 38 for HuT. The issue is that printer is going to offer him a lot of villagers very, very quickly. Now he's looking to wall up this right side. He needs to buy himself some time. This could be a window of opportunity for Kyo to pressurize when he is now in the castle age. The trouble is, he's on a timer. That Palace of Swabia will rebalance the economy between the 2 players, or as in the differential of villagers between the 2 players pretty quickly. Knight still being annoying. There's a camel rider, but 3 versus 1. I'm sure that camel rider will survive, even with how good it is. Doing decent damage though. Has to be pulled back. Lance coming out as well, and a spearman. Kyo needs to deal with this. Kyo's got a bigger problem on his hands, and that problem is his opponent in his Imperial Age. And not only does the Palace of Swabia unlock the ability to get a lot more economy and very, very fast, the fact that he's an Imperial Age offers him the tech advantage in terms of units. Get Imperial Age units. Not only that, it offers him the access to Imperial Age siege in the form of bombards. There's textiles coming in for Kyo. Better late than never. Both players going for man-at-arms. It's rather curious there for Kyo, opting to trade. Go for man-at-arms. Go for quite heavy stone. Probably looking to get a keep here. Villagers and gold looking to be in trouble here. 1 does go down at least. Maybe a second. The knight runs away with it. Now Kyo knows, he is aware that his opponent has walled him out, and that's going to be a concern. I'll opt to go for an outpost first. North of the map. Here, sending a couple of spearmen, but HuT is on hand to re-wall that again. We'll get an outpost there as well. And I think if you're HuT, he just needs to defend. I wonder what the options are for Kyo here. Looks like it's in a bit of a spot of bother. Maybe he needs to get more town centres. I think that's what the stone is for. Although it does seem like he's got 500. He's not placed another town centre, I don't think. So he needs to be relatively aggressive. Go for the berries there. There's one thing to bear in mind, there's a lot of berries on this map, especially in the middle of the map. And you're going to keep walling up, or try and break down the walls, but HuT's going to try and keep walling up. I don't think that's been built. The Knight's going to get through. There is a springald emplacement in that outpost, so HuT trying to delay things as long as he can. The army does bust in. This is a problem, because let's take a look at the military count. HuT has 5 military, 32 for Kyo. HuT played this greedy. They're just going to get in the action, going to torch this outpost down. The outpost does go down, and this is an issue. HuT needs to produce military, he needs to produce it fast. Doesn't have the food. He needs the food. He's having a very hard farming transition. This attack is coming at the worst possible time for the Holy Roman Empire. He doesn't have the army on the field. He needs spearmen. He needs them now. A lot of barracks on the field. You have to produce them pretty quickly if you can. Say he's struggling on the food, but now that the farming is now up and running underneath the Ark and Chapel, I'll start to bolster pretty quickly. Is he making a switch to spearmen? No, he's going to go for the elite upgrade to the man-at-arms. They'll trade well against the knights. Knights getting good damage here for Kyo. 58 villages for HuT and lowering. 79 for Kyo, so definitely the advantage in terms of economy. These guys are still Castle Age man-at-arms. I think if you're Kyo, you probably want to turn and fight soon, because you won't want to come against Castle Age units. Sorry, Imperial Age units, whilst it's still in Castle Age. Going for some crossbows. Actually, that's a very nice play. Transition to crossbows. Despite there being only Castle Age units, we'll still be able to do a decent job here. Man-at-arms going on the left side. Kyo playing it a bit risky. No walls. Speaking of walls, the wood wall in the middle is being chopped through now by Kyo. Quite a large army here going forward for Kyo. You feel like he's on a bit of a time. He needs pressure. He doesn't want that HuT build up a large economy and then large military. Lance is going to dive in, and Kyo has enough for a keep. Will he be sending forward villagers? He had villagers there already. Will he send these villagers forward towards the base for HuT? This outpost does have a relic in it. If that gets taken down, the relic income won't continue. That's quite a big denial there. 100 gold per minute. On the left side though, man-at-arms taking the trades against the spears. The spears should be able to deal with that. And on the right side, HuT just biding as much time as he can. Good charge attack by the Lancers, gets good value there. Gonna run into the choke point. Not sure how I feel about that. That's not a fight, but actually no, it's fine. He's got crossbows in behind. He won't mind that fight at all there, Kyo, and he's gonna take the trade. And HuT's gonna struggle here. He might lose everything. If HuT loses everything, that's gonna be a problem. He doesn't have anything in behind to defend. No static defenses. And the Ark and Chapel is going to be exposed. The farming economies are going to be exposed. The villagers have to garrison in. They're going to have to run and hide. And now this is the problem. This is where HuT's going to struggle. Kyo pressuring in the Castle Age still against the Imperial Age HRE. The Abbasid Dynasty Eco really building in there. Kyo evens up the set 2-2. It's going to a game number 5 in this set. This is going to be a fantastic set. We called it at the beginning, and it's definitely delivering. The last game of this set will determine who progresses to the next round and who inches closer to that golden ticket for the main event for Redbull Wololo Legacy. That last game is coming right up, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. What a set we've had so far. Game number 5 though, we have got HuT playing in the southwest corner of the map in blue as the English, and in the northeast, playing in red, is Kyo as the Rus. The map is Holy Island, and I'm really excited for this game, not only because this is going to be the conclusion of a fantastic set. It's 2 apiece, and the winner of this game will be progressing to the next stage of the August monthly for the road to Redbull Wololo Legacy. They'll be inching closer to that golden ticket to Castle Heidelberg for that main event, and we're playing on Holy Island with 2 fantastic civs in my opinion for this map. You've got the English and you've got the Rus. The Rus are incredibly strong on hybrid maps for obvious reasons. They do get the Lodge efficient ship that doesn't have to basically travel a long distance to deposit the food back at the dock. But then you have the English, which have access to the galley in the fuselage, so they can be really strong in the waters, in the fuselage, and push the Rus off the waters. But we shall see how this one pans out. The English can be relatively strong on land as well, but so can the Rus. Both civilizations do have some fuselage capabilities. Obviously with the English going with the Council Horde and the longbows, and often getting a decent advantage with those longbows if they can get the range attacks on those villages. The Rus can be a relatively flexible civilization, especially when they go up with the Golden Gate. They can have a secret second town center. Be very greedy, especially if they do dock, which they will do, because it's like they're just going to dock, as you can see here. So getting a second town center behind us, we'd be very greedy. We've not seen that, I don't believe, on Holy Island, because getting a second dock can be very secretive. Going with the Golden Gate, they can trade for that 300 stone without your opponent ever knowing. You don't have to mine it necessarily. It would be very greedy, especially when you're going to be under attack in the fuselage from the galleys, no doubt, coming from the English. The dock now is up and running for HuT playing against the English. Getting 2 fishing ships nice and early. Will we be seeing an early wheelbarrow? Nope, neither for either player really. Can't really afford it when you're going for the docks, and HuT is getting a lot of sheep here. Holy moly. There's a lot of sheep being brought back. It's not often the big all and end all if you don't get the sheep, especially if you win the waters, but this could be quite nice for HuT, because often if there's a civilization that's going to lose the water in this matchup, it's going to be the Rus. They tend to lose. But okay, he's got a lot of sheep himself. I was about to say HuT managed to grab a lot of the sheep off the map, and I was just wondering whether Kyo would be able to get enough underneath town center, but he's got enough. He's got 17, he's got a lot, and that will delay any farming transition if it has to be made. But to be honest with you, if you're farming on this map, you're kind of in trouble, because it means your opponent's got the waters. Dock is now being pressured by a scout for Kyo, being annoying. Bit of torch damage. Well, the Rus typically do opt for more scouts, so that could be a play out for Kyo to try and torch down that dock and just be a harassing of that dock. Villager does get pulled back nice and safely. That guy was shore fishing, I suspect. And you know what? HuT will need to actually do something about this. You can't just let this go. He might need to invest in a barracks and a spearman. Maybe get some scouts of his own. Should have 1 or 2 scouts of his own already on the map. Not entirely sure where that is. Let's take a look, because he's going to need to do something about this. He's only got... yeah, he's opted for the 1 scout, and that's entirely reasonable playing as the English. There's no real reason for him to go for... oh, no. Actually, no. He's actually gone for the 2nd scout. Actually, it's very not reasonable, because he will want to deny the deer and the hunt and the bounty. Does have 2 scouts, so we'll be trying to push this away now, I think. Getting a villager. I suspect that villager will be coming out to repair. Let's take a look at the bounty system for the Rus. Only 225 at the moment. Might be looking to kill some of those sheep underneath the town centre. He's actually getting a good few free hits there. And Kyo wasn't paying attention there for a second. Does take a fight though. Backs off again. Yeah, if Kyo just kills a couple of these sheep, he'll actually be able to get the next tier of the bounty system, tier 2. Doesn't have any villagers on food there at the moment. Of course, he's fishing. Now, actually, there's something to discuss. We've talked about it in some of the parts of the set earlier. Would love to know what's more efficient. Having more fishing ships that have to travel a distance like we have here, or fewer larger fishing ships but don't have to travel. Not entirely sure. 2 scouts still alive for HuT. Same for Kyo. To be honest, Kyo could be aggressive. He could actually push with their scouts on that dock, because HuT really won't be able to engage with one of their scouts. Getting a 2nd dock. I think HuT's playing it nicely. Gonna get 2nd dock. Oh, we see something very interesting with the Rus. We saw this on Boulder Bay when Boulder Bay was a map being played. Kyo is going into the fuselage. And what it's going to do is going to actually convert these larger fishing ships into attack ships. That's the only other explanation why they're heading further forward. That's the one thing that the Rus do get. They have the ability to convert their fishing ships into attack ships, and vice versa. They have lots of flexibility, as you can see, the triple conversion on the larger attack ships. And the problem is that HuT is not in the fuselage yet, and so he won't be able to get a galley for a while. And that's a significant problem, because the fishing ships will be taken out. The fishing ships aren't being garrisoned inside the dock. They need to be hidden. HuT notices it. I think Kyo timed that not necessarily optimally. He gave it away before the units were actually converted. Only by a couple of seconds, but those couple of seconds were enough to save some of the fishing ships there for HuT. try and keep some garrison. Does lose one, might lose a second. This is a big, big damage to the food economy. And whilst the galleys do start to pop out or be queued up, and that is the case. I don't know. I mean, Kyo's doing what he can on water, but it took maybe 1 or 2 fishing ships max. Fishing ships pop out again, and guess what? 2 galleys are going to pop out and deal with everything. On land now, Kyo going quite heavy on gold. Getting stables out. Maybe looking to get some early knights. We'll have to force out a barracks for HuT, and that's exactly what happens. The barracks will be coming out. The Roger attack ships head back home. Well, that's going to be a bit of a worrying sign there for Kyo. Didn't get as much damage as he wanted to, and now with the galleys out, HuT can fish freely. And not only can he fish freely, he's going to be sending these galleys forward, no doubt. Oh, Scout loses a lot of HP there. Oh, there's going to be 4 Lodger attack ships. Going to be a second dot coming out now. Better late than never, but I don't think these 4 Lodger ships, attack ships, can even trade against 2 galleys. We'll soon find out. Keep an eye out on the deer. Is HuT looking for a second town centre at all? No, going straight to gold. Looks like it's going to be a fast castle play here by HuT. And this is nice. He's going to go for a feudal age water fight into the castle age, most likely, as long as he can defend any feudal aggression. Because there is a learning knight coming out, barracks blacksmith coming out. Looks like Kyo is opting for a feudal age engagement, both land and water. And this is the engagement on water that's going to be key for this fight, this map, and this set on Holy Island. As you can see, these guys, these Lodge attack ships just tickle. Does have the defender's advantage, so the Lodge fishing attack ships will be brought home to heal. I think HuT might need to commit to more galleys. He is indeed doing so. Getting more as we speak. This is an interesting play. This is a very nice play, actually. We don't see this being done all that often. This is very interesting. He's actually walling up his wood line, and that is very, very nice play because it does deny just knights rushing in. I've seen it before, that happening actually. The wood line can be pretty exposed because you don't really have any other wood line on this map that you can take safely. I mean, you can go out here, but I mean, be a madman if you do that. And so he's going to protect his wood line there. It's a very nice touch there by HuT. Great to see that kind of strategy coming out. 4 galleys are now on the field, and that will sweep everything up. But Kyo is not down and out. He's committing hard on water still. Interesting to see if he's still queuing up knights. There's a couple of dotted around, I think, on the map. I don't seem to have got all that much value for him yet. Yeah, just running around, seeing what's what. But that's quite a heavy investment for scouting information effectively. Those knights aren't doing much else rather than scouting. Does lose 1 Lodge attack ship. HuT will be nice. Will be happy with that trade. He's going to head further forward. He smells blood. Spearman coming out. Loses a scout there. Vision will be lacking there for Kyo. They'll still have 1 scout with that knight. But this is the focus of attention on this map. Fishing ships might go down. Galley's going to fire out. The fishing ships go down. Oh no, he's going to survive. That 1 fishing ship survived. Fair enough. But now the Lodge attack ship's forced into the fight. 1 goes down. Look at this. HuT microing this nicely. Going to bring that galley back home. Brings it back into the fight. Forces the micro out of Kyo. Kyo might be losing another Lodge attack ship. He does. This is perfect micro by HuT. Putting the weak galleys away back home. This one might go down though. He pulls it back. And now there's only 4. Oh, it does lose a galley though in the end. 4 galleys versus 4 Lodge attack ships. There's only 1 winner there. What's going on land? Spearman rushing into the wood line. There is a wooden fortress there for the roost though, so it's going to be hard to push. And the galleys are pushed back a little bit. But not without significant losses here. 3 versus 4. Again, HuT just wins it. Oh no, Kyo, you've missed the boat here. You've definitely missed the boat. He's missed this. And he's not spotted it. And he's lost the attack ship just for free. That is a key bit of detail that he's missed. And it's probably because of this aggression that's happening. Hunting cabin being torched down. Archer's longbow is just standing there. Don't need to even progress. You just need to pile on the pressure. And it keeps his opponent occupied. Another Lodge attack ship goes down. Galley being microed back home to heal up. Another galley coming out, and that's going to win the waters for HuT. HuT looking dominant so far on Holy Island. He's going to win the waters, and that's going to be so significant for the outcome of this game, you feel. Another Lodge attack ship might be going down, even with the healing capabilities from the dock. Yep, another Lodge attack ship will be going down. Galley is being microed. HuT's missing out on that. Let's take a look on land. What's happening here? Archer's come out for the roost, and HuT's just pulling back on his army now. Another Lodge attack ship goes down. Galleys are reigning supreme on the waters, but there's no surprise there, really. And now the Lodger attack ship heading forward, trying to snipe this galley, doesn't manage it. 1.58 movements tile speed. This is a big problem. Kyo is going to be out of water. He's had a heavy investment onto waters. Look at the fish economy, looking strong here for HuT. I mean, he could even trade here if he wanted to, but I'm sure he won't be that greedy. Not at this stage of the game. Oh no, 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 no. Lodger fishing ships come out. 2 of them go down for free. Kyo, not like this. Not in game number 5. Bringing the archers forward on land though. Gonna want to do some damage. Mass archers might work out for him. Facing up against spearmen and longbows. Loses 2 fishing ships, and those aren't cheap, guys. Those are 150 wood per pop. The wood economy is pretty strong for the Roost though overall. He's going for a second town centre in the end. Gonna need to build that village account. He needs to transition to land. Does have sheep he can go to. This is a big problem for him, that is for sure. 16 villages, what were they doing? Were they going for the hunt? I don't know what they were doing. They're in no man's land. Yeah, he's going for the hunt. Oh, yeah, okay. They were going for the hunt. Another refreshed lumber camp coming up for HuT. Longbows are itching forward. Now the forces, spearmen archers versus archers. This is a nice play by Kyo. I don't dislike this at all. When you're up against longbow spears, and there's no knights on the field really for him, he's not committing to that, and that's actually really key. Good wooden fortress, he's going to need that, that is for sure, but the problem is longbow still be able to range, still be able to harass his villagers, and does he have vision of that? I'm not sure, the archers aren't heading that direction, but the archers would win this fight pretty nicely. Oh, villagers going to get sniped, 1, 2 get sniped, maybe a third almost definitely, a 4th, this is a bad play. The wooden fortress doesn't get built quick enough, 4th, 5th, villager going to be going down. 6th as well, maybe a 7th on left, 8th, 9th. This is a huge pick off by HuT. Fantastic play on the land. That wooden fortress not going up in time, that was so unfortunate. And now HuT looking formidable. He's going to stick near the galleys. This is so smart. The galleys are on the shoreline. This is not a fight that Kyo can take anymore. The archers are there, but so are the galleys. The galleys are focusing on the docks though for now. Now they're focused on the archers. Fantastic micro, fantastic play, fantastic thinking by HuT to think about the galleys on the shoreline. And now Kyo can't even take the fight. The villagers on Deer are going to be under pressure again in no time. He is on 2 town centres. Let's take a look at the village count. 33 for Kyo, 55 for HuT. Now there won't all just be villagers there for HuT. Mostly will be fishing ships, adding a lot to the count. Docks will be going down. That secures the water for HuT. And you just get the feeling that Kyo is in a precarious position now. How does he come back from this when he's so down and out on the economy? Has arrow slits now in the wooden fortress. Not sure that's going to be enough to save him here. Spearman hiding in the corner of the map there for HuT. Do you know what? HuT looks like he might be on course for that castle age. Let's take a look at the food income per minute. Almost 900. He is going to the castle age himself, going up to King's Palace. I'll have that second town centre himself. HuT looking in control of this game so far. Going for a monastery. We'll be able to get some relics. On the right side there, 3rd town centre going down for Kyo. Kyo's not down and out. He's doubling down with a 3rd town centre. On the berries. Going to be walling that up as well. Securing that position. Onto the trade post. The good thing is you'll be securing that relic position as well. Longbow heading forward, outpost creep might start coming up. He's going to secure that gold with that outpost in a nice place. The archer numbers are building up, but the trouble is HuT might be transitioning into stable units, might be transitioning into knights, and that is indeed the case. You see 4 stables. Oh, this is not going to be good for Kyo. The archers will absolutely tickle these knights. These knights are going to cause so much damage, and these guys can just run underneath the town centre. They won't mind at all. And the raiding is going to start to ensue here. Spearmen on hand. The spearmen will go down, but they did their job, they did their value, they got a lot of value out of that HuT. And fishing economy is still booming away for HuT. Has to be said, the food income is pretty decent here for Kyo. He's going to struggle here, especially with the Castle Age units. Veteran longbows, Castle Age knights. Knights are going to dive in. The wooden fortress has been garrisoned, but as you can see, look, the knight is tanking it. He's just not taking any damage at all. He's tanking it so hard. The wooden fortress needs to focus on the archers. They do. A couple of the veteran archers, they're not so tanky. The archers for Kyo need to be careful. They don't need. If they get surrounded by the knights, that's going to be a problem. The knights are going to charge in. The archers need to head back to the town centre. We hear relics being picked up. That is not a good sign for Kyo. Villagers garrison inside the Wooden Fortress, a decent number of archers. They'll do a decent amount of damage, but with the knights coming in, I say that, I take it back, they're doing terrible damage. Considering how many of them there are. One knight being pulled away to the wood line by HuT. Nice play, going to be idling the wood economy as well. And this is a problem for Kyo. HuT looking strong here, going to dive in with castle age units. These archers are no longer relevant to the fight. They're just going to be used to kite around the town centre, but as more knights join the fight, that's going to be a problem. The archers are going to be whittled down in numbers. Wood economy completely idled. There is economy here in the south, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough. HuT looking strong. Game number 5 looks to be heading in the way of the English over the Rus on Holy Island, and that could see HuT edge closer towards the main event, or the ticket to the main event at least. Knights getting a charge attack, archer numbers dwindling. Town centre not able to do anything about this. The knights are just going to dive. Villagers on food, on the sheep, going to be taken down as well. And knights maybe looking to get on the wood line again and idle the economy even further. Kyo is just going to be idled forever. He's not going to be getting up to the castle age anytime soon. Doesn't have the gold income, and that is a big problem for him, that is for sure. Kyo struggling here. The knight's going to just keep the villagers idle. Doesn't need to do anything else. Just flood units. Doesn't even need siege at this point. Keep producing those knights. Look at the economy. 1,000 food, 1,000 gold in the bank for HuT. Can continue to produce for a very long period of time, and this is a problem. This is a big problem. 8 villages idled there. 27 villages idled in total. That's almost half the economy for Kyo. And I think the knights are just going to focus on these villages. This wooden fortress, torch that down, take 7 villages, move on to the next one, take those villages down, and then move on to the next wooden fortress. 17.5 minutes on the clock. Kyo stuck in the feudal age. HuT can afford castle age again if he wanted to. With a second town centre in the form of the King's Palace, his economy will be booming. 60 villages still idle on the south now. The knight does spot villagers. We'll be sniping a couple of villages. The wooden fortress will be built, but it'll be a bit delayed. The monk having to redirect himself. That monk won't make it out alive. He's heading in the wrong direction, but it doesn't matter at this point. The economy's been idle for so long, and Kyo struggling to find a way back into this game. Had been doing well in the set so far, but this game is struggling. We'll lose the relic, and the monk will be going down. The knight going to be harassing this southern area as well. The southern area being exposed means that there's probably going to be more raiding. Kyo struggling here, loses that villagers on that wood line, that wood fortress rather. And those deer have been denied. Villagers do get pulled out from that wooden fortress underneath the town centre on the sheep. At this point, the knights can just dive in. They're diving in on that wood line. Villagers again going down. 10 villagers idle in that town centre, and this looks to be down and out. Kyo trying to survive, trying to hang on if he can in this best of 5, but it doesn't seem likely. Knight numbers really starting to build up, and there it is. Kyo calls it GG. HuT progresses to the next stage of this tournament. He seals the deal. Kyo did a fantastic job of taking it to a game number 5, but HuT reigns supreme with the English on Holy Island over the Rus. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube, I hope you did enjoy the cast, and if you did, do give it a thumbs up. Take care, and see you next time.